will win your fantasy football leagues. But we're not going to tell you what the best tool is out there. And we're going to tell you that the best tool out there is actually trash. Now, is this tool actually amazing? Is this tool actually terrible? It all depends on how you use it. Dynasty is one with value points, and KeepTradeCut, where we're heading today, is just a resource. It's a resource. Is it good at things? Yes. Is it bad at things? Yes. You know, it has its pros, it has its cons. All falls down to how the user interacts with this site. And so today, I'm going to be telling you guys how to use this site to your advantage. We're going to hop back and forth between my two favorite sites, KeepTradeCut, Flock Fantasy. And we're going to be breaking down player rankings, player analysis, and really just talking about trends, buy candidates, sell candidates, hold, trade targets, all that great stuff today. As well as let's talk about some guys that could potentially be league winners in 2026. So a heck of a video coming your way. Smash the like and subscribe button, please. And let's start talking about KeepTradeCut. So some quick things that KeepTradeCut is well known for. Everybody knows KeepTradeCut has the trade calculator where you can come in here and I'm trading myself. Let's go with Bijan. And I'm also going to be sending myself Ashton Genty, 2 running backs. And team 2 gets Jackson Dart. And they're also going to be sending pick 102 of a 2026 draft. Which side wins this deal? You see, KeepTradeCut clearly favors the Bijan and Genty side. Jackson Dart, the 102, it doesn't have that nearly equal in value. You start testing around equalizers. How can I make this trade fairer? And this is what KeepTradeCut's mostly known for, the free trade calculator tool. That's great and all, and really just use this as a piece of advice because you can manipulate trades in here that are absolutely wild. And that's the first piece of advice I have for you. This trade calculator, I really would not use to judge the overall value of your trade. For instance, Jackson Dart being at 6,500 value points, because again, Dynasty is 1 in terms of value. Would I rather have Jackson Dart or just straight up the 102? I'd rather have in my opinion, Jackson Dart is worth multiple first round picks. I think Jackson Dart is highly undervalued. He's going very early in dynasty startup drafts. So there's players on KeepTradeCut that are just undervalued. And that's kind of what you want to be trading for. You want to trade for guys that are undervalued. So if you're getting that guy in return, it's going to say you're losing the trade. You might not be. On the other hand, I am all for using this trade calculator. Let's say you're sending somebody the 102 for Jackson Dart. And you're like, listen, man, KeepTradeCut, I know it says the Dart side still wins, but hey, listen, man, KeepTradeCut says this trade is pretty dang fair. How about I just throw in there a 2028 second and all of a sudden you win this trade by a mile, right? So that is how you want to be using this trade calculator to your advantage. When we start going over to the rankings, I still like myself the Flock Fantasy rankings by far, and we can see discrepancies right off the bat. Discrepancy number 1, KeepTradeCut has the number 1 dynasty most valuable player in terms of value, factoring in things like age, production, health history, Bijan Robinson. They have him as the number 1 pick. If you're in a dynasty startup, they have Bijan going first overall. That's wrong. It's straight up wrong. If you're in a super flex league, you're going to be seeing Josh Allen and Drake May go off the board. You take a look at where the creators have him from Flock Fantasy. They have Bijan at number 6. So if I was a Bijan Robinson owner, and you're over here on KeepTradeCut, you're telling me Bijan, you can go get Drake May and something, right? Because that is how value works. Now, they aren't far apart in value. You can see that in terms of their overall value number that's been assigned to them. However, you know, I would be using this to my advantage when it's advantageous to me. So go through your dynasty roster, go through and just take a look at the rankings and see what is your player worth on KeepTradeCut. What is your player worth in the free rankings on Flock Fantasy? And when you find that, if they're undervalued, you probably keep that in the back of your head. Like when you're doing the trade calculator, you're like, all right, it's going to say that I lose this trade, but he's actually undervalued from where he should be. Or if he's overvalued, that just screams sell high. So I really love these tools for the main purpose of identifying sell high candidates and buy low candidates. If there's somebody out there that's not on your team, you know, you're not only looking at your players. Like if I just go through these rankings right here, I'm on KeepTradeCut. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It's time to scam. Trey McBride, number 9 overall in the rankings. I don't like it. Why do I not like it? He's 26 years old. He's tight end in his prime. The Cardinals have no quarterback. If we take a look at Flock Fantasy, at the site over here, he's number 20th. A much fairer ranking. Personally, in my opinion, I actually have Brock Bowers valued ahead of McBride. Bowers is getting a quarterback upgrade. It can't be much worse. He has absolutely no target competition, whereas McBride's going to have Wilson and Harrison. I think McBride is going to be the number one alpha there. We all know that. But there is still competition for targets with no quarterback. Do we trust that Brissett's going to be there for another year in AZ? I don't. Take a look at Bowers. Back-to-back years of 15 points per game, he's getting a lot of hate, a lot of falling in the rankings in people's mind as well, not just the overall rank, because of the fact that he missed 5 games in 2025. It is what it is. I wouldn't want to play for the bum Raiders either. Now, they're going to be bum Raiders again in 2026, but they can't have a worse O-line. They can't have a worse quarterback play. So I actually do like Brock Bowers and his underlying stats. He was more involved in the red zone, which is a big step forward. If we see him get back to some of the efficiency metrics and some of the target metrics of his rookie season, I don't see a world where Bowers ever drops him 15 points per game. That's elite tight end production from a 23-year-old, 3 years younger than McBride. But anyway, McBride, if I'm over here on KeepTradeCut and I'm like, listen, man, McBride is a 20th overall in the ranks on Flock Fantasy, but he's 8th on here, then that just tells me there is a market gap, and market gaps are where things are very important. Now, Trey McBride is a good player. If we take a look at what Trey McBride did in 2025, tight end 1, we all know it, you hear it over and over again, 19.7 PPR points per game. That's not even tight end premium. 11 targets, wow. Brought in a heck of a lot of them, wow. Touchdown rate, very, very high. And really, you take a look, he didn't do it with Kyler Murray, he did it all with Brissett. And Brissett really elevated his game. So imagine if he had a decent quarterback. I'm not saying Brissett's not decent. Brissett's actually pretty good at pocket passing. But if he had an elite talent, I'd say it's not going to happen, though. Because how's it going to happen? It's not going to happen until the future. Like, we don't know. Maybe the Cardinals tank again in 26, and they bring in somebody from the projected great quarterback class, Dante Moore, Arch Manning, some of those names coming out in 2027. But I don't feel like waiting when this guy's 26 years old. So I identified, all right, Trey McBride's on my team. He's overvalued here. Who do I like personally? Then the next question, you identify the sell target. All right, Trey McBride is overranked. Who do I think is underranked that I could go and get? Amon-Ra St. Brown or Trey McBride? To me, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I do have ahead of him in the rankings, but that feels more like a positional need type identification, where if you are heavy on tight end, you have a guy like Gatson in the wings, and you don't have any many receivers, then you just pivot, go get Amon-Ra St. Brown, and that's just a good value in. You can think of a guy like Lamar Jackson, CeeDee Lamb, Devon Achane. Hampton's even a bit underranked here. And if you think about it, take a look at the value. Trey McBride and Malik Neighbors, they're kind of back-to-back here. That's a bit iffy. Jayden Daniels is a big gap. This KeepTradeCut tool has Jayden Daniels ranked behind Trey McBride. If we go over here to the overall creators, Jayden Daniels is the number 8 dynasty asset, much higher than Trey McBride. Now, I am actually identifying Jayden Daniels as a sell at this price. But there also is a world where Jayden Daniels becomes a top 3. He goes all the way up to this S tier once again. He's a very volatile asset to be holding, right? His value insulation, I believe, is thin now. And his 2026 season, his performance will have a drastic impact on whether we see him number 20 in the ranks or top 3 in the ranks in 2027. But with that said, I do like that move because Jayden Daniels, as much as I like him as a sell, he still does belong in the top 10, top 12 of the overall dynasty rankings, whereas Trey McBride is just a gap over here on the site. So he's a name right here, Trey McBride, that I do believe is a bit too high. Let's keep scrolling through these rankings. We know that Justin Jefferson, I'll say it again, I have him as a sell. Now, whether it's price dependent or not, that's a whole different story. I don't really care. Like, does Justin Jefferson deserve to be number 15 overall in the rankings? It's honestly not that bad of a rank. It's honestly pretty fair. You come over to the site, you come over to Flock Fantasy. He's number 17. So there's not much of a difference between the two websites. You're thinking to yourself, people just, all right, they have him at number 15, 16, 17 in their rankings. But you look at his age, 27 years old. To be honest, that's still prime age for a wide receiver. You can't say he's going to fall off in the next 2 years. However, you do a deeper dive into the metrics. In 2023, Justin Jefferson played only 10 games, injured. In 2025, bad season, right? So back-to-back. So it's almost like we're starting to see CMC-like trend. Now, that's a bit of a stretch, but, 1 year, 2023, ruined your league. performed very well when he was there, but he ruined your league because he wasn't there. 2024, he was healthy, played pretty well, wide receiver 3. 2025, major bust. Now, Justin Jefferson and the Vikings. What is one thing missing from that situation? So in 2025, he averaged 12.5 points per game. In 2026, he's going to average insert number. Are we expecting him to randomly start scoring more touchdowns? Are we expecting his yards to go up by 35 yards per game randomly? You can argue that JJ McCarthy was hurt. You can argue that when McCarthy was in, Justin Jefferson, I mean, he didn't play better when McCarthy was in, right? So you can't really argue that. You can argue maybe McCarthy comes in, develops a bit more, has more time on the field, more time in practice together, but it's a bad situation, man. You don't like the quarterback situation here in Minnesota. JJ McCarthy, the double JJ to the fourth, J to the fourth power, not JJ to the fourth power. I'd be, do the exponents, math, help. Justin Jefferson with JJ McCarthy is not good. It's not a good situation. And let's just say this. If McCarthy has a bad year, yes, the Vikings will replace him. He's gone. You're gone. Kick to the curb. But that means 1 year has went by. He's now 28 years old, heading into 2027. 2 years from now. That's where I start getting worried about age, because then you're going to have a year with a new quarterback. And I just hate the situation. So if I have guys like that on my team where they're not necessarily sell highs, like he's more of a hold in terms of his actual value unless you think deep into it, right? Like I'm not saying he's unfairly ranked. It's just a guy that if you have, I would be shopping him around. Now, this is what this tool is great for. What names are currently around Justin Jefferson? Caleb Williams. In a Superflex league, I am all for going to get somebody that is a couple years younger and is a quarterback. This quarterback's going to be a longer career in theory. Quarterbacks typically play past or 33 years old. Jefferson, there's going to be a fall off when he hits 31, 32, potentially in his future. And we don't know the quarterback situation there. So I like Caleb Williams as a pivot target. You have to be careful though, because there's going to be guys that might be overranked. Like would I go get Malik Neighbors? To be honest, I do think Jefferson for Neighbors is not a bad move. I actually am for that move. But when you're going to have to pay a difference in value of 7,400 here and 7,700, it's not that big of a gap, but you can see there's a big jump up in value to some of these guys above. So you do want to kind of monitor the trends, and really what it comes down to is your league. Will your league be in agreement with the values on KeepTradeCut? What do I mean by that? Let's take a look down here in the rankings. Let's go find Emeka Egbuka Jr. His value is 5,800. They have him as the 37th ranked player, including draft picks in all of Dynasty. Now, I had a video a couple weeks back where I identified Emeka Egbuka as both a sell high and a buy low. What does that mean? Well, Emeka Egbuka, why do I have him as a sell high? I have him as a sell high because he's number 37th in the rankings, and there's guys around him that I like. George Pickens. Yes, please. It's not even close. Colston Loveland. Yes, please. It's closer, but it's still not that bad. And Ladd McConkey, like there's names around him, hidden gems. Now, why do I have him as a buy low as well? Because your league, the guy that actually has Egbuka on his team, he might not be in the dynasty weeds. He might not be in agreement. That's the thing, right? It's not like, oh, I want to go pivot from Christian McCaffrey to Breece Hall, and they're back-to-back in the rankings. So when I send McCaffrey for Hall on an offer, my league mate's going to just accept the trade. Bam, trade completed. Thanks for Breece Hall, buddy. Enjoy CMC. He's getting injured. That's not how life works, right? Your league mate will not agree with your trade. In fact, basic psychology says they're going to want to rationalize in their head that they want to keep the player on their team because they've grown attached to them. They've been watching them on Red Zone every week. So that's how that works. Now, Emeka Egbuka, he's high up there in the rankings. We already mentioned sell low if people value him at that price. But take a look at the actual stats. First 5 weeks of the year. Ooh. Bro was on a heater. It was amazing. And then he lost the holder of him the lead. He lost him the lead, right? Emeka Egbuka since then, he only hit double digits once. I'm not counting 10.4 double digits short. I'm not counting it. He basically annihilated Anytime he was in your lineup, he was a bad start outside of one singular game in week number 10. So let's say your guy made the championship, 5 points. Made the semifinals, 5 points. Let's say your guy was in the hunt for the playoffs, 9, 6, 8, 3. Your league mate might have been in a must-win game, and Ibuka came out here and dropped 3 points, 2 catches on 9 targets. Was he banged up? Yes. But hey, listen, this is a simple psychological experiment. Somebody actually applied this theory from one of my earlier videos and got it to work. I believe they sent the 110 for Ibuka and the trade got done. Go check the comments of that video. Listen, this is something that you have to feel out in your league. KeepTradeCut is a good tool. I think I just proved that. You can go through the rankings, you can use the trade calculator when it's to your advantage to try rationalizing, but your league mates might not be stupid. With that said, you also have to have a third tool. You have the KeepTradeCut rankings, you have the Flock Fantasy rankings. What about the actual guy that has them on their team? That's the third thing you need to have in your mind. Let's say Johnny holds Ibuka. Me and Johnny are out drinking. He's cursing Ibuka every single week. That smells like a buy low candidate to me. Now, let's just keep going through the KeepTradeCut rankings real quick, and I'll identify some more names that I think might be mispriced. So as we scroll, I'm just going to let you know, Herbert. Justin Herbert being the number 21st overall player. I mean, he's way too high on Flock Fantasy as well. So both sites are in agreement on Herbert's high rank, except for me. I'm not. Herbert is way too high. Me personally, I'm putting him closer to like 38, 39, 40. And you're saying, are you out of your mind? Are you high? Listen, back-to-back years, 2020, 21, 22 points per game. A wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I'm not a scam. I am him. Listen, that's great. The touchdown rate, 2.2 touchdowns per game through the air. That's great. The rushing, not good. Listen, no rushing upside. And that hurts dramatically. Now, this is somebody that has the name hype, the it factor. Herbert, he's dating a celebrity. Oh man, Herbert's good. He's young. Look at the smile. He's handsome. Bro, what is he actually producing? This is where hype and production and value do not match. 17 points per game in 22. 18 in 2023, but he missed 5 games. Not good. 2024, 17 points per game. Bad. 2025, 17 points per game. Bad. Dealt with health issues again. Now, Mike McDaniel coming in is something that to be excited about. I am excited that they could take a step forward. You have Greg Roman's offense. Let's get out of that, right? Hampton, Ladd. It's a good offense. The big Q can definitely get Herbert some big points on those big 40-yard touchdown receptions. With that said, he's not worth this value, man. I would straight up rather have Jackson Dart. It's not even close. And on KeepTradeCut, let's see where Jackson Dart is. He's below. So on both ranking tools, Dart is below Herbert, and he's better. He's better. He already averaged more than 17 points per game in his rookie year. Health concerns, I don't really want to focus on that when it's concussions, but the rushing upside was insane. If you get one thing from this video, Jackson Dart's rushing upside is immaculate. We could break this down game by game if you want. The rushing touchdown rate was very, very good. Week 4, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Week 5, rushing touchdown. Week 6, rushing touchdown. Week 9, touchdown. Week 15, touchdown. Week 17, touchdown. So he came out there and he was balling. He was above 20 points per game. If you look at the per game logs and take out some of the outlier fluke games, his actual average on the season was closer to 20. Might be above 20 to be honest. And he averaged about 50 rushing yards per game. Jackson Dart is a great target in these rankings. I think Trevor Lawrence is ranked a little bit high as well. You can potentially feel that one out. Nico Collins is a must sell at price before it is too late. I personally believe that Nico Collins, I think that he's too injury prone for my liking. I don't believe in the Texans O-line. I think Higgins might have a good year 2 breakout. So that's something that concerns me there with Collins. And when you have a guy like Pickens, who's a simple, what is that? Look at the age difference. A simple 2-year age difference, and he's in a better offense. And I think he's just better, especially if he stays with Dallas, which is going to get a franchise tag. It doesn't mean he's staying, but I do think that Dak and Pickens would be way better than Stroud and Collins and way more consistent. So I actually do like that lateral move right there. Christian McCaffrey, way too high in the rankings. Ladd McConkey's kind of fair, but I also think a bit underranked. Now, we're going to skip through this mid part. You're going to have to go tune into one of our, more buy, hold, sell videos for all the analysis. Let's go down here towards the bottom. What I also really like using KeepTradeCut for is draft pick value and understanding pick value. Now, what KeepTradeCut does not do well is it doesn't really account for the value of these picks and how it's going to swing in the future. You're kind of just seeing the present value, which is good and good to know, but it doesn't give you a warning. Hey, this 2026 second round pick, let's go right here, 2026 early second, like it gives you the trend, which is nice to see. Like, look at the trend of this pick right here. The pick, it went down a good bit in value. You can see it was peaked right here, and then it's just been, and that's been because of people like me. You can see it's down 8 spots in the ranks, which is a good thing to have here. The pick has fallen in value. Now, it's not going to tell you the future projection, which I will, and I'm actually going to have a whole video. These picks have fallen so much in value, they're actually going to rebound back in value. Once we start getting draft hype, combine news, once we start actually getting to the rookie draft, your league mates are going to want to be involved. And we're going to start seeing these picks slowly go up in value. Now listen, they're going to become overvalued again, is what I'm saying. Like, you, at the end of the day, you do not want to be holding on and actually making the selection of these draft picks, but you want to be capitalizing on the value swings. So that's something that it does good and bad, where it shows you what the recent value trend is, but the future projection trend, you kind of have to be aware of that. So, but it gives you good targets as well. Like, if you know in your head, I want to trade my second round picks this year, who can you start looking for? Right off the bat, if you're looking below what the pick is actually valued for, unless it's an insanely undervalued player, you're probably going to be losing value unless you package some guys. So I like looking above. I like shooting for the ceiling. I like scamming my league mates, you know, making a good pitch. Like, if I have a 2026 early second, JJ McCarthy sucks, Michael Penix sucks because he's not healthy. I think he's actually decent, but he's not healthy. But both of those two names, those are guys that could easily return value compared to what the second round pick actual value is and what you're going to be getting if you use and make that selection. So that's a guy that I'd be looking to get. Jayden Higgins, I'd like sending offers for him. Michael Wilson, I'm not a huge fan of Wilson, but if you can get him for an early second, yes, please. And now listen, everyone's going to be commenting, Gatson, Javonte, Pitts. You're not going to be able to trade a second round pick for these guys, but you can definitely start the conversation. And you can put out feelers. You don't know. Again, this is KeepTradeCut. Flock Fantasy is the other ranking, but you don't know what your individual league mate's ranking is. Bit of a breakdown of how to play the ranks, play the value, play your league. I hope this video helped. We'll have more videos with specific targets, specific trade questions, all that great stuff. Please smash like and subscribe. It really helps us out as a small channel. Appreciate every single one of y'all. Signing off. See you in the next one.